Hey there, welcome. I hope you're doing well. I'm Shawna, your counseling astrologer, and this is your weekly astro-psyche check-in for the week of July 4th. So I will share with you the astrology that's happening this week. We'll talk about maybe how things will manifest and how to use that energy, and I will pull a tarot card for you. We'll see what comes up. So, we have two planets that are changing signs this week on Monday, actually. So Mars is moving into Taurus. Mercury is moving into Cancer. So what's really interesting about this is that both these planets are moving from signs that they rule, that they do well in, into different signs. Now for Mercury, it's not a huge deal. Mercury in Cancer, I can totally get down with that. As far as Mars is moving into a sign that tends to be a little more difficult, and we have to put in a little more effort into using this energy in a way that we like. So Mars is moving from Aries into Taurus, and it's going to be in Taurus until about the middle of August, until August 21st. So the reasoning, the logic behind why Taurus is a little more difficult for Aries is because it is the sign opposite of Mars's rulership. So Mars rules Scorpio in the traditional rulerships, and Taurus is opposite Scorpio. So it's opposite of the place that Mars feels most comfortable in. And so we can also think of this as Mars is a symbol of action, energy, enthusiasm, vitality, moving forward to meet assertively with confrontation. And then Taurus is a fixed earth energy. So there is a steadiness there, but there's also it's hard to move something that is fixed earth. There's kind of like, it requires a lot of momentum. So that's not to say that, you're not going to have momentum or things are going to be, tough or anything like that. It simply means that as far as Mars type activities, it may require more initiative than normal. The other piece of this, the other way to look at this is to look at which house you have Taurus ruling in your chart, because this means that Mars is moving through that house. And so this can actually be good if you want to bring more movement into the area of your life that this house symbolizes. So let's say you have your 10th house as being ruled by Taurus, then this might be good for you because it means there's going to be more movement and more energy and more action and that kind of thing. So something to check out there. Again, as far as the tone of just looking at this week, this means that there's a shift in our energy around moving and taking action. There is this slower pace that's going to be embodied with Mars and Taurus over the next couple months. As far as Mercury, so Mercury's moving from Gemini, which it rules, into Cancer. So this again is kind of a slower pace. Gemini is a mutable air sign, and so that's like a very quick movement, moving from one thing to the other. Whereas Cancer is a cardinal sign, so there is still movement there, but it's water, so it's, in my mind, that's like a bit slower, so to speak, because it's flowing and it has more like weight to it than air. And so Mercury will be here in Cancer. So again, we can use the same logic with looking where Mercury is in relation to you in your birth chart. So where do you have Cancer in your birth chart? Mercury will be moving through this place until July 19th. So Mercury is also going to make an aspect to Jupiter, and I'll talk about that more in a second. But Mercury in the sign of Cancer is communication with more emotion, with more compassion. There can be a higher sensitivity, and that can be something that we use and that we channel. It can also be a little more challenging. It might feel kind of like there's like too much emotion where you're not thinking clearly. So it can help to sort of slow things down and to really notice and pay attention to what feels true for you, where you're getting your information from, and how it is that you're communicating, and to try to really communicate in a mindful way. And I think that's always helpful, but especially at this point in time, it helps to really slow things down, I think. Also this week, we have a first quarter moon in Libra. And so this is happening on, I think on Wednesday. Yeah, so on Wednesday the 6th at 7:14 p.m. Pacific time. So first quarter moon is the point between the new moon and the full moon. So we had our new moon in Cancer last week. That was on sometime in June 28th. Yeah. So we're at the middle point. So this is the first quarter, is the waxing quarter. Waxing is where the moon is starting to become bigger and brighter. And this relates to anything that we want to grow and further and enhance and elaborate on. So this week we're still in this phase of growth, and actually this phase in the lunar cycle is very conducive to taking action, to furthering something, to reaching out to people, to initiating projects. And I think especially in Libra, very conducive to that, because Libra has this social element to it. It has this element of beauty and grace and relationships connecting harmoniously. Now, so that you can put these dates in your calendar, we'll have a full moon in Capricorn on July 13th. And then the next new moon will be in Leo on July 28th. Now I'm hosting a new moon circle for that moon on Saturday the 23rd. We'll be able to channel some harmonious Jupiter energy on that day. So I hope that you can join me. You can find out more on my website, astropsyche.net.com. But for this week, we're just talking about the first quarter moon. So on Wednesday, it may be helpful to sit down and renew or review your intentions, maybe that you set for the new moon, or where it is that you want to focus your energy over the next week or so until the full moon. Also happening this week is Mercury will square Jupiter. So this is a bit of a tense aspect. Mercury is our mind, our thought process, our communication, how we think, even like our communication to ourselves, that internal communication, our logical process. So that is connecting with Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion and growth and optimism and abundance. Like we talked last week, the Jupiter is really all about elaborating and really wanting to make things bigger and better, and a lover of novelty. And the downside of that is that it can be too much. It can be taking on too much, taking on too many projects, and just literally having too much on your plate. Or maybe not literally, metaphorically, too much on your plate. So with this, I feel like there's this enthusiasm for new ideas and thinking about things that you want. And it could also be, because we're talking about Mercury in Cancer, it can also be a lot of emotions, or a lot of like over analyzing, or getting lost in like telling stories about what's going to happen or what it is that you want. So it feels really important this week to stay very grounded in what is actually happening right now, in the present. What is your current circumstance? What is the next best thing that you need to do or that you want to do? And how are you going to channel this flow of energy that is Mercury with Jupiter? When I'm talking about this, I'm getting like this image of like a stream, like a water stream or a river, and like you building sort of like this channel where there's like these boundaries that are happening, and you can control where you direct that flow of energy. But if the border isn't, like the boundary isn't like structured, then there can be kind of like a dissolving, or where things get the word isn't coming to me, but where it's kind of like your focus goes in too many directions, and then it dilute is the word that I was thinking. It dilutes the concentration of your energy. So I hope that makes sense. Let's pull a tarot card for you. So this can be for the week, or if you have a specific question, something that's on your heart, on your mind, you can hold that loosely. Okay. All right, so you received the Two of Wands. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. There we go. So this is the Two of Wands in the Ophidia Rosa Tarot. So the Two of Wands is about, this to me really feels like it's connecting into the Mercury-Jupiter situation, because the Two of Wands is about looking off into the future of where you want to go, and it's a point where it's very important for the person that is looking into the future to decide what it is that they want and how it is that they're going to go about things. So this feels like that focusing kind of energy. I'm also like noticing how the branches are like crossing there. So that, I don't know, you take that how you want, but that sort of feels like there's this crossroads kind of vibe, like a decision that needs to be made. Maybe that's something that is present for you, but it also makes me feel like, you know, in order to focus your energy on one scenario or situation, you may need to at least temporarily decide not to focus on or to say no to certain other opportunities. So I hope this was helpful. I love comments, so if you would leave me a comment and let me know how this resonated with you, I would love that. And then also, if you want to go deeper with me, I do offer astrology/tarot readings. So a reading with me is 60 minutes, it's recorded. It's a lot of information so that you can listen back later. And we can go into anything that you want in the reading. The past, the future, career, relationships, and we use the astrology to get into the struggles that you're working with now so that we can work through them. All right, I'm sending you lots of love and wishing you lots of blessings in the week ahead.